ways your business can achieve unstoppable growth. I don't know if I'm the best at it, talk about this topic, but I'll tell you the growth I've created. So I started NewConfig basically out of my office, my room, my apartment in 2012, my little office inside my apartment, inside my condo. I had zero revenue in 2012. By 2022, we got up to close to 2 million revenue. So that's huge. Right now, 2023, we're down to about 1.6 million in revenue, but every staffing firm was down. And this year, hopefully we'll be back up a little bit more than we were in 2023. So back in 2012, 2013, I had zero revenue. 2014, I had about 80 grand in revenue, and I was still bootstrapping the business, working on my own. So I've been able to grow it from 0 to 1.5 all the way up to 1.8 or 9 at one point a year and a half ago. Let's say today we're a $1.5 million business. So from 0 to 1.5 million in about 12 years, and being profitable and having 9 employees. I think we're successful. Depends how you measure success. We're not Jeff Bezos, but we're growing. We're growing slowly but surely. So there are things I could share about my success running a recruiting agency, which I think can apply to other businesses. And most businesses, in my view, are the same in many ways. So I think these can be used for anything else. Many things else. So the first thing that your business really needs to be successful is leads. Leads are the blood of the business. If you don't have leads, eventually the business will fail. You might have someone you've done business with for 20 years, but then they retire or the company gets bought out, your relationship is gone, and you lost that business and you go out of business if that's your only lead, if that's your only client. You need a constant stream of new clients coming in all the time to grow the business, to replace the clients that leave for whatever reasons, whether it's mergers or acquisitions, or they go out of business, especially B2B or what have you. Even in the consumer to business, people's tastes change, don't want an iPhone anymore, they want a Galaxy or vice versa, most likely vice versa. So people's tastes change. You always need new clients to come in. So leads are extremely important. That's number one of my 3 ways to achieve unstoppable growth. And I think it's the most successful, the most important, and which will make you most successful. You always need leads. Leads. They're extremely important. So how do you get leads? Whether the old school way was cold calling or knocking on doors, just showing up to businesses, having commercials, billboards. The new ways have been Google Ads. Cold calling is back, sending marketing emails. Emailing is huge. We're doing direct mail through USPS, or which is the post office, or UPS or FedEx is another way. It's coming back because no one gets mail anymore. So like, oh, I got a piece of mail. They look at it, they're okay, this is interesting. So there's many ways to get leads. Referrals is another way to get leads. But wherever way is working for you, keep doing it, or more, or do a lot more of it. So I'll tell you what was successful for me and what was unsuccessful. When I was bootstrapping the business, I tried cold calling. It didn't work for me. That's not who I am. I'm very direct. I used to be a trader at Chicago Work of Trade. I'm very direct on what I want. I used to be in IT and SAP. I think like an engineer. This is the way to solve a problem. This is what you need. People don't want that. Many people like salespeople because they make them feel better about themselves. They increase their self-esteem. They give them compliments. They give them sugary ways around the problem, and they do solve their problem anyway. And they speak less honest than me, in my view, most salespeople, but they're more successful. So I tried cold calling. That didn't work for me. I tried emailing. That didn't work for me. I tried doing other types of marketing, whether it's videos and posting them on YouTube. That didn't work for me, but Google Ads did. Google Ads was the main reason NewConfig was successful from 2014 until 2022. Then in 23 and 2024, it went down a little, but it's still not bad. Google Ads was our main lifeblood. Right now, we're growing our sales in terms of cold calling and meeting clients and building relationships with them there. But whatever it is, to grow, you need business, you need clients, you need as many clients as possible. And if you're gonna spend money on anything, it should be clients. Because of what about clients, what makes unstoppable unstoppable growth doesn't really matter. You could have the best product. If no one wants to buy it, it's worthless. It's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. So that is what I want to say about that. This is the number one thing you need to be successful is leads, and leads translates to clients coming in. So that's number one by far. Now the second thing is production. Whether you make widgets, you need to make them faster, you need to make them cheaper, you need to make more of them. And if your production's too slow or too expensive, you're not gonna make any money either. So production's very important, and you need to find a way. What was very significant in my view in my recruiting career was we were a 3-person shop, 4-person shop until 2020. When COVID hit, we grew exponentially because I hired offshore Albanians and a Bulgarian. I taught them from the ground up. Some of them already came with recruiting experience, and I taught them the NewConfig way. And what happened is, what I didn't realize 2012, 2020 was we just had too many job orders, and there were only 3 or 4, sometimes 2 of us, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 of us, and we just couldn't fill them all because recruiting, it's a game of numbers. The more people you submit for a role, the more higher chances you could fill it, the more money you'll make, the more roles you work on, the higher, the more money you make. But there's only a certain amount of time in the day, maybe 10 hours, some hours you're talking to clients. There's not much time left for recruiting. So if you're not recruiting, you're not submitting. And if you're not submitting, you're not staffing. You're not staffing, you're not making money. So in our world, pushing some of the recruiting, not all of it. I still recruit, people in the office still recruit, but a lot of the recruiting back to offshore to Albania and Bulgaria really helped us because that tripled or quadrupled our production, and it was a lot cheaper than here in the States, and that really grew our business from about 400,000 2019 to over, as I said, close to 2 million in 2022, and down to about 1.5, 1.6 million right now. So production is very important. And the third thing you should look at, if you have the production down and if you have the leads down, which is the client, is accounting. You have to watch your number. You can't spend more than you're making. It's extremely important to look at your numbers. I look at my numbers at least twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month, and I look at if I'm making money, if I'm losing money. I'm meeting with my bookkeeper. If there's something that you're spending on that's not making you money, get rid of it. I give something shelf life. If it hasn't been producing over X amount of months, I get rid of it to save money because it's not, and there's no point of keeping it if it's not making us money. So numbers are very important. And when the economy goes down, if you're spending more than you're making, or you're even, or you're spending just a little bit less than you're making, and then the economy hits and then you're making a lot less, but your spending is still that high, you're gonna be out of business. So it's extremely important to look at your spending. I looked at my spending this year. I lowered it by getting rid of people that are not producing. I did the same thing last year. You cut the fat. You need to do that to be successful. Otherwise, they will take the whole ship down with them because they're too expensive and you go out of business. If you keep paying them and you can't afford them, they'll take your salary, they'll take everything. You need to cut expenses if you want to survive in this business. And in fact, when business fell for all recruiting firms in 2023, I had to cut the fat in 2023, and I did it again in 2024 and earlier this year, and I'll keep doing it if things don't improve. But if they do improve, I'll start hiring again. We hired a new salesperson in April of 2024. We hope he's going to be super successful. In fact, I know he will. He's great. His name's Steven. But yeah, so that's what I think you need to do to be successful, to achieve unstoppable growth. And I think my example is not bad. I grew from 0 in 2012 to 1.5 million, 1.6 million today, which is a lot better than you could say for most firms that go out of business in 5 years. Most firms go out of business in 5 years. The majority, and maybe, I don't know the statistics, I know that statistic, but even more go out of business in 10 years. We've been in business in 2012, so for 12 years, and we're growing. So we're doing something right. And we are achieving, I would say, unstoppable growth. And the reason is I focus on these 3 things. And that's what I think you should. If you want to grow your business, if you want to grow your organization, you should tell leadership about these 3 things. Focus on clients first, focus on production and widgets or your services second, and focus on your accounting third, because it's extremely important to cut the fat if they're not bringing you any value. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next one.